on here and have a conversation about a bad experience that I had on July the 4th doing DoorDash. It's my first and only bad experience as of now. I had never gotten an alcohol order before. So I thought, okay, if I sign up to deliver alcohol, they'll probably tip pretty good. Which is probably mostly usually the case, but I got unlucky. Regardless, I got an offer to pick up something from this beer store, from a liquor store. It was some beer, and whenever I picked it up, because I can't look at my phone and read it and drive at the same time, and you only have so long to accept these orders, and it was $9. I thought, okay, well, that's probably not going very far, so I went ahead and I accepted it. I was all excited. I got my first alcohol order. It was July the 4th. People are going to tip good today. So I picked up the beer, hit the directions, and it was taking me way out into the country. I want to say way, way out in the country. Probably a good 15 to 18 miles from where the actual beer store was. Anyway, so I start following the directions, and it's just country road after country road after country road. And I grew up in the country, and I grew up around here. So I thought maybe, and my grandparents lived in this area, but not on the same road. Well, I was not familiar with this road or this area of this extremely small country town. But so I pull up to the area. I lose cell phone service, which is not a good thing, especially when you have to scan somebody's ID, get their signature, and then submit it before you leave their house to get your money, because you don't get, it doesn't show you how much you're going to get paid or how much your payment is until it doesn't roll over until after you complete the order. Well, this road, it was like a gravel road, went straight up a hill, and it had a lot of ruts in it. It's gravel, had a lot of ruts in it. And I drive an SUV. I was like, okay, well, I can do this. I grew up in the country, and I did. I took my car and I made it on up the road, up the hill, and they're up there waving me down, which is cool, Didn't really look like I had a turnaround spot up there, so I was kind of freaked out about that, because how rutted the road was, and there's a ditch on the other side, and it's very narrow. But I'm a decent driver, at least I think so. My husband doesn't think so, but I do. It's just I can't text and drive. I just can't do it. I will kill myself. So unless I'm sitting still, I really can't really get into and explore what I'm getting myself into. So, and you have 60 seconds to accept an order. So anyway, I pull up this narrow, graveled, rutted driveway. It's pretty long. I pull up to this place, and I'm telling you, there is trash everywhere. And not that I think that people who have trash all over their yard are bad people. Because I'm sure whenever I was raising my kids and lived way out in the country and was a single mom and my kids were little, my yard was probably trash too. So I don't discriminate. So they tell me, you're going to have to get out of your car because there's no cell service. And I'm like, okay, so, and there's two older men out there, okay? One was of another race, which didn't bother me whatsoever. And and then there was a lady on the porch. They were all older people. And I thought, okay, no harm, whatever. I hop out of my car, and the man looks at me and he says, "Man, you're tiny." And immediately I felt intimidated. So there's no cell service. He says, "You're gonna have to step over here, wave your phone around here, you'll get enough service." So, and I did. And I was very friendly with the people. They were very friendly with me. The one proceeds to tell me he's from Detroit and he's been here way too long. You get him out of this holler and he don't know where he's going. And then there's this older man who's just sitting over on a pile of trash, and he's got his cell phone out, which is an old Motorola cell phone like I had in 2009. And he has it open and he has it pointed towards me while I'm turned away trying to get service to scan the ID to get the signature. And I turn my head and I notice that he's pushing the button and the light is lighting up. This man's snapping pictures of me, okay? Now, I was not dressed in a provocative way. I was wearing a pair of blue jeans, not tight blue jeans, mind you, and a t-shirt, and a not in a tight t-shirt. And even if I was, the man still had no right to take pictures of me. But he was taking a lot of pictures of me. So immediately, I'm even more scared. And, but I continue conversation, like my grandparents used to live around in this area, man says, yeah, I don't know anything about this area. Well, I was completely lost, to be honest. So I got the ID scanned. I got the signature. And they said, okay, well, you pull way up here and you back up and, we'll help you get turned around so you go down the hill and you won't hit the ditch. And I'm like, okay, but I couldn't get the order to submit while I was up there. I got the signature, I got the scan, but I could not get it to go through. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to drive down the road a little ways till I get service and get this order submitted. Because until it's submitted, you don't get your money. So I go on down the road and I get a message from these people saying, "We would like your personal phone number because we would like to be personal friends." And that freaked me out. Well, I was totally lost. I couldn't find my way back. So finally I thought, well, I'm just going to take this road. It has to end somewhere. Eventually I got service. And in the meantime, my app restarted. And it starts telling me I need to scan this ID again. And I need to, do all this and that. And I was like, no way am I going back there. I don't care. They can have the $9. I did not feel safe. I was scared. So I finally put my home address into my GPS and I was on my way. And it took me way out. I hit the interstate. I'm trying to chat with chat with the support all the way down through there. Like I said, I can't text and drive. It was terrible. So I finally get to a place where I can pull over. And I called customer service. Well, I tried to. Then I had to go back onto the chat and beg somebody to come on there and call me. And they didn't want to, but they finally did. And they cleared that, and I got my $9. And then I saw that they didn't even tip me. I had them block that person to where I would not get orders from them again. So that was my bad experience. Tell me about yours.